The most unexpected seller of Bitcoin could be emerging, and it might be strategy. We've got the latest on that story for you, as well as Qualcomm, AMD, GameStop, Ethereum, Solana, Pepe. Oh, we got the goods today. We got a lot to cover. Latest on Iran. We better go because we got too much to going on here, guys. Let's go. So, Sailor, we will probably sell some Bitcoin to pay a dividend just to inoculate the market to send the message that we did it. Interesting. Also, this guy, sell a kidney if you must, but keep the Bitcoin. Never sell your Bitcoin. We can buy more Bitcoin than they can sell. The rules of Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, don't sell the Bitcoin. Michael, I got to get him on, man. We got to talk about this. Let's have a quick listen to what he said here.
So again, the most important point here is there are occasionally some short narratives. People would say things like, well, you know, if they sell the Bitcoin, that's bad for the business, or it proves the business doesn't work or something. But you know, we look at it as if you're a real estate development company and you bought land for $10,000 an acre and you sold it at $100,000 an acre, and then you bought more land with the profit. No, you know, or if you sold it $100,000 an acre to pay some interest expense on debt that you used to buy more land, nobody would say that that's bad for the price of real estate, and no one would say that that proves the business doesn't work. Real estate development companies literally exist to buy land cheap and sell it expensively. We're like a Bitcoin development company. We buy it cheap, we sell it dear. Where do the dividends come from? Capital gains fund credit dividends, right?
Okay. You buy Bitcoin with credit, then you sell it to pay the dividend. There you go. Michael, you better buy a whole heck of a lot more Bitcoin before you start doing that, dog. Holy cow. Bitcoin ripping today. Now, we are back up. Very, very important levels here. Very important levels. Bitcoin right now is at the 200-day EMA. Look at this right here. Right here. This is a very, very important moment because we can close above the 200-day EMA. Gets pretty hard to find a lot of good bearish excuses at that point. Now, I could see a surge a bit over this, come back down, retest the top of the channel. That would be fine. But something's really got to break in order for us to go down to 10K, 30K, whatever the bears have been calling for recently. We're back above all major targets right now. Again, the breakout target for this channel is $89,000. Will we get it or not? We are in a very, very, very critical zone right here because this is the do or die moment for this rally. Will we continue? Will we find the strength to actually put the bears to rest and shut them the F up for a while? Market's going to find out real soon. Now, I'd also like to point this out for you. Daily RSI is just entering into the overbought territory. We've been on a heck of a run recently, as you've probably seen. That kind of run from massively oversold. Remember back here, do you remember back here when I was saying, hey, look, guys, no guarantees in life, but when you're buying massively oversold readings on the daily, usually you look back and don't regret having done that. Well, here we are, $22,000 later. Anyway, we are now entering overbought territory. I point this out because it's all very exciting. Everybody loves when the prices are going up. It's very good. However, when we enter into overbought territory, usually that comes before some kind of price correction. Now, I'm not saying that this leads to us $30-some thousand Bitcoin like the bears are calling for, but at least a minor correction is probably coming in the not-so-distant future, especially for stocks, man. These things have been on such an insane run. You can't have trillion-dollar companies running like this every day. It's too crazy. It's too crazy. At some point, reality has to catch up and pay the bill here. Anyway, you can see here, January 26th, we actually hit the top of the channel, massive rejection, straight back down. RSI just tapped into overbought territory. Here you can see as well, overbought. This is October 6th. I mean, it's the top followed by a massive crash a few days later, so it's not exact science here. You can see here RSI 14 July 25, price peaks out at 123, pulls back to 112. So that's a very minor dip, and that's the kind of thing that we'd want to look for. Next few days, not saying today, we'll probably still have a bit more to run for the RSI. Hopefully get up to our $89,000 sell target. That would be fantastic. And then a bit of a cool off. Back down to the low 80s, something like that. That would be fine and cool and normal. You can see here another one. May 25, got up to 112, pulled back to 98, $10,000, $15,000 dip. similar situations played out here. Now, sometimes you get an overbought reading and that just keeps running. So that's always a possibility too. But I just want to give you some of the scenarios there. By the way, strategy, $188 back over the 200-week EMA. Market didn't love what Saylor had to say today, but it also didn't hate it. Price is actually up in pre-markets, not down dramatically. So there you go. Taking a quick look at today's trades, I've entered into an Ethereum trade. I'll break that more down on the Ethereum TA section here in a minute about what the logic is behind that one. Solana up to $89. This one, again, the stop loss is still at break even. We're going for, actually, I moved the sales target up, which maybe is a bad idea. Sometimes I feel like it's a bad idea to do that, but I think the TA supports a move to about 110, 115. So I'll put the 115 as the sales target here. I'm going to tell you why in a few minutes when we look at the charts. Bitcoin, sales target in this one's $89,000, as mentioned before. Stop losses at break even. Circle, stop losses now in profit at 110. Trailed it up a little bit. Current price is showing at 120. Price target on this one is $150. So all three of these trades, the Solana, the Bitcoin, and the Circle, can't lose money on. I can lose money on the Ethereum trade. I'll lose, I don't know, $1,000 or whatever if this one goes against me, which is fine. That's part of the name of the game. But I think the charts look very interesting. I'm going to cover that for you in just a second here. But if you want to join me trading over on BitUnix, there's a link right down below. Here, you can get signed up to be able to anyone, anywhere, which is, of course, you. You can trade stocks like Circle, like Microsoft, like Tesla. You can trade commodities, gold, silver, oil, all native to crypto, too. You deposit the USDT from your whatever wallet you're using, and off you go. You can start trading. It's pretty awesome. And, of course, they have all your favorite crypto coins, Bitcoin, your XRP, your Solana. They got you covered. Big news, United States and Iran closing in on a one-page memo to end the war. Good. Gosh darn it. Markets loved that. It's part of the reason why markets are ripping and oil is dumping right now. Look at that chart just a second. President Trump says they're pausing Project Freedom. That was the U.S. naval destroyers escorting ships through the Strait of Hormuz. They're stopping that temporarily to see if they can get a deal done with Iran. Maybe, just maybe. That was enough for Iran to go, you know what? The Americans are really serious about trying to do this, and we can only sink so many ships before they blow us to crap. Who knows? Anyway, negotiations are ongoing. There's a pause in hostilities. This is a positive thing. Let's see how it plays out. Oil dumped hard on that news, by the way. This was sort of just a failed breakout attempt here, which is good. We don't want to break out on oil. I'll tell you what, of all the assets I want to see break out, oil is not the one. Well, cheap oil prices. In fact, daily MACD now rolling over, which is good. Good. Big move down from $120 2 days ago to 103 now and dropping fast, meaning that the market is pricing at a potential deal here on Iran once again. ETH. Long ETH, I shared that with you. The stop's at 23.50, and I'm running relatively tight stop on it because I see how many times we've been stopped trying to get over this here. I'd rather get stopped out down here, just below the daily low of the price, because that would mean that we failed once again to break and hold above the orange box here. We have a daily MACD bullish crossover happening. RSI is only down here at 61, but it has retaken over the signal line, meaning that momentum is in our favor here across multiple different indicators. And it's not yet overbought. Unlike some of the coins, some of the stocks, which are just absolutely crazy right now, Ethereum's got a little more room to run here, a little more space. The price target on this one, $2,800. Why? Because $2,800 right here has been such an important price point historically for Ethereum. Plus, that's the technical breakout target of this triangle pattern that the price has been consolidating in. So let's see. Ethereum is just so many times a disappointing coin to trade, but let's see if we get lucky this time. Pepe is breaking out here as well. I grabbed a big spot bag of Pepe right here. Maybe it was here. One of these 3 days here. Got it right around 390. Decent. Fine. Could have got it cheaper a few weeks ago. Yeah, well, coulda, shoulda, woulda. What are you going to do? Like the frog coin, long on the frog coin. Let's see if we can actually get some momentum here in the crypto markets. If we don't, then I'll be willing to cut that bag. That's fine. Solana, this is a heck of a breakout here. Look at the just consolidation, weeks of sideways price action. Now, we have not had a huge move yet. We had a nice daily candle from 86 to 89. That ain't bad. I'll take it. but it is a breakout of this triangle. It's a breakout of this localized downtrend, and it's a breakout of the overall triangle pattern. The implied price target here brings us back up to here, right around the 200-day EMA, which is currently sitting at $112. Or you can see these price support levels here around 117, 118. I've set my take profit at 115 on this trade. Let's see if we can get it. Hopefully I'm not being too greedy on that trade. Might be more reasonable price targets down here at 98, which is the previous price high back here, but let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. Lexia posted this. This is a very interesting chart. This is the Livermore chart with the S&P 500 as an example here. So this is based on current price action from 2023. Very fascinating. This is calling for a move lower in late 26. So maybe we're going to top out some point. We shared yesterday about the solar cycles and August 12th being a potential date for a top in Bitcoin. Maybe stocks top out a bit earlier. Bitcoin then sees some rotation money into it, for example. I could see that happening. Big pullback. Big pullback, potentially, if that plays out like that. It doesn't have to play out perfectly, but you get the idea. But the Trump era will be defined by a massive market rally, not a global depression or the Great Depression, bear market, whatever. That comes after Trump. But until then, and this is, again, we're not necessarily advocating for the targets on the chart here, but it's an interesting idea that if this Livermore chart plays out, then the true parabolic phase of the stock market is still ahead of us. And interestingly, very, very interestingly, 2028, man, keeps coming up, doesn't it? 2028 will be the year the market has its massive top. And 29, probably going to be a pretty brutal bear market, which is great. Just remember to sell something, guys. Okay, are we going to do that this time? Take a little bit of money off the table, buy yourself something nice. This guy here, DDDAS. Almost every single semiconductor stock has gone 2x in the last month. It's crazy, dude. These are crazy moves. Absolutely nuts. Bonkers, bananas moves on some of these stocks. I mean, some of these stocks are massive, too. Absolutely massive. Oh, man. Wild stuff. Absolute wild stuff. Love to see it. Pre-markets on AMD are just going nuts. 426 is now up 118%. Now, we've been covering AMD a lot here on the channel. You guys know I stacked a pretty big bag right down in this area. That 200-day EMA, man, just held like a champ on the support line. Bounced off it. I mean, look, things are getting pretty overheated in the stock market. This is, according to pre-markets, now up 121% since the bounce off the 200-day EMA, and that was only back on the 31st of March, so in a month. Okay, these are big moves. These are big moves. So I've actually set a take profit order here for AMD around $420. I know the pre-market's showing $427, but I didn't want to put in a market order because, you know, I might have a decent pullback and then whatever. Anyway, maybe I'll adjust that order a little bit up, because obviously it keeps running. But 427 currently, I'm going to take about a third of my AMD bag off the table here, lock in some nice profits. Fantastic. Up 100% in that bad boy. Stocks, man. The true altcoins have always been stocks, haven't they? Anyway, Qualcomm also ripping 197 in pre-markets. Again, just absolute crazy moves on some of these things. But the double bottom pattern looks to be playing out. Remember, we were talking about this. This has a huge implied price target here, going from about 180 up to around 240 potentially, 230, something like that. So big move coming in here for Qualcomm. Definitely an underrated player compared to all the attention some of the others are getting, and I think that they're going to surprise a lot of people. I'm holding on to that one. I'm not taking any profits on this at the moment. I'm going to let this keep running. Circle, 120 in pre-markets. That breakout triangle is absolutely beautiful. Still gunning for 150 for the price target on this one. Galaxy ripping 31 in pre-markets. I mean, I was telling you guys. I'm telling you guys right down here. This just textbook breakout. Textbook. Broke out of the downtrend. Retested the 200-day EMA. Ripping higher. Classic. Good stuff. Crypto Klepto says BlackRock owns over 15% of all Marathon digital shares. Nearly 10% of Starwood is a BlackRock Marathon Starwood AI data center deal potentially on the table this week. That's in response to Zero Hedge saying BlackRock to announce hyperscaler data center deal this week. Yes. 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 Let's do it. Marathon chart. It's a brutal chart compared to how wildly, insanely bullish some of the charts have been. But hey, therein lies the opportunity. The market's still looking at Marathon as a Bitcoin mining company only, and it's not. It's making huge deals for data centers. It's getting a lot of attention from the data center crowd. That's the trade here. This is now a data center stock that also mines Bitcoin. You saw what happened in previous ones like Core Scientific, CleanSpark, Iron, stuff like that. Now, yesterday we covered the GameStop story. Yesterday we covered the GameStop story, and he was on Andrew Sorkin's show. And I don't know if just because Andrew Sorkin, Ryan Cohen was like, what the F is going on here? Maybe he just it was a little bit too high for the show. I don't know. But let's have a listen to the update here from this. He's on TBPN here.
So in terms of the competitive landscape on an acquisition, I think there was some people circling around a few years ago. Nothing happened. The strategics can't really do it because I don't think that they would be able to clear antitrust. So any of the large competitors wouldn't be able to acquire it. I don't think that we would have any regulatory issues getting clearance on a merger. In terms of the efficiencies, GameStop is a good example. Like GameStop is a dog, and it could have been dead. And we've breathed a lot of life into this thing, right? And you look at SG&A, we've dropped SG&A by 47%, $800 million by making marketing more efficient, almost turning off marketing. I mean, everyone knows GameStop, everybody knows eBay. So you talk to the marketing people that tell you like it's going to tank revenues and all of this. And the reality is most of that marketing spend isn't making money, but everyone's trying to protect their jobs, and there's kickbacks. There's all kinds of perverse incentives. And so,
okay, we're not going to watch the rest of that. It's enough to give you the idea. He's got a plan, man. He's got a plan. And the market responded to that plan. Now, we dipped down to $22 yesterday, but then rallied after these sort of new interviews they did with other people that are now on MSNBC or CNBC or whatever that is. Back up $24. Again, I'm still not in GameStop, but man, I could absolutely see this sucker running. Here's the deal. Right now, their stock is not worth as much. But if this sucker runs, and you guys got to remember, this thing was worth gargantuan sums of money at one point here. So look at this back here, $120. If Roaring Kitty comes back, puts money behind the eBay deal, if this runs up to $50, $100, suddenly it gets a heck of a lot easier to buy eBay. And then suddenly GameStop looks much more attractive, doesn't it? Anyway, thanks for watching. By the way, join the Inner Circle, link down below. 7-day free trial. It's awesome. What are you waiting for? Stop missing out. This is the group you've been looking for. This is the community, the investor community you've been looking for. You're missing out. Love to see you in there. 7-day free trial. Link down below. Thank you so much. I'll see you back in the next one. Peace.